But when everything that you do is working and successful, slowly you begin to think the planets are not going around the sun, they're actually doing their rounds around you. I had no issue with that somebody else, but that is somebody, this is me. For the first time, I did not know which is me and which is not me. What was me was just spread all over the place. I thought this madness lasted for 5–10 minutes, but when I came back to my normal ways of being, 4.5 hours had passed of time. The next time this happened was very significant because there were people around. I went and sat with my family at the dinner table. I actually thought it's 2 minutes, but 7 hours had gone by. I'm sitting right there, fully alert, but I have no sense of time.
Event happened when you were 25, which you write about, is it Chamundi Hill? And how you were there and had an experience. Maybe you can share that with us. And it changed things, how you saw the world.
Actually, many things happened before this. It's just that I was too arrogant to see it. I had to be bombed to see it. I was not sensitive enough to see anything small. Many small things happened. When I look back now, it was all there. But I was such a super smart guy, okay? If I accepted these things are happening, I had to accept that I've been stupid all the time. So I was not willing to give up the mantle of being a smart young man and see that you've been a stupid fool, not realizing fundamentals of the nature of your existence. So I had to be really bombed out for me to come to terms with it. So you were talking about the bombed out situation. So it happened, I was into business by then. And very successful for those times. Nobody expected me to be that successful in such a short span of time. And I'm already into half a dozen commercial activities and all of them are flourishing. Of course, I'm doing a whole lot of circus. My schedule was like morning 5:30 to 11 in the night every day. I'm on, doing variety of things. But when everything that you do is working and successful, slowly you begin to think the planets are not going around the sun, they're actually doing their rounds around you. So I'm in such a state of absolute certainty about everything. You're young, everything is working, people around you are clapping their hands. This is it. So one afternoon, I had nothing much to do between two business meetings. And this is a kind of a culture or a tradition in my soul that if whatever we want to do, if you want to camp, we go and camp on Chamundi Hill. If you want to trek, it's Chamundi Hill. If you want to have a party, Chamundi Hill. You fall in love, it's Chamundi Hill. If you fall out, you have to go to Chamundi Hill. If you have nothing to do, you go to Chamundi Hill. So, this is a place I test my motorcycles, this is a place I meditate, this is a place you meet people, all kinds of things. So I rode up and this was around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I went and sat on I'm very familiar with the whole hill. I sat on a particular rock. My eyes were still open, I did not even close my eyes. Suddenly I did not know which is me and which is not me. Till that moment I knew this is me, that is somebody else. I have no issue with that somebody, but this is me, that's somebody. That's a world of distance. This is me and that is somebody is a world of distance. So, I was sitting there, the very air that I breathe, the atmosphere, the rock, everything had become me. What is me had just exploded all over the place. I thought this insanity lasted for about 5–10 minutes, but when I came back to my normal senses, about 4.5 hours had passed. I'm sitting right there, fully conscious, eyes open. Sun has set. For the first time in my adult life, tears. Me and tears were impossible. I was like this. I remember when I was 8 years of age, something happened when tears came. I was at school. I made up my mind never again in my life another teardrop is ever going to come out of my eyes, and I kept it up till I was 25. And here I am, my shirt is wet. To that extent, 4.5 hours tears have been running, and I never realized it's 4.5 hours, I thought it's just about 10 minutes. I've always been peaceful and happy, I'm young, successful, and everything is doing great. But every cell in my body is opening up like a flower, and I'm dripping with ecstasy. When I shake my head and ask my skeptic,
what's happening to me, the only thing that my mind could tell me was, maybe you're going off your rocker. I didn't care what it was, but I didn't want to lose it, because this is the most beautiful thing that I had ever touched, and I had never imagined that a human being could ever feel like this within himself. So when I went to my closest friends and said, see, something is happening to me like this, as I'm talking, tears would flow, and people would say, did you drink something? Did you pop something? What did you do? I knew there was no point talking to anybody, because if I just look at the sky, tears will come, if I look at a tree, tears will come, if I close my eyes, tears will come. I'm just bursting. In 6 weeks' time, everything about me changed so dramatically. And I just lost the sense of time. The next time this happened was very significant because there were people around me. I went and sat with my family at the dinner table. I actually thought it's 2 minutes, but 7 hours had gone by. I'm sitting right there, fully alert, but I have no sense of time. This happened many times. One day I'm just sitting in my farm, and I thought I sat there for about 25–30 minutes, but I have sat there for 13 days. By then a crowd has gathered, India being what it is, there are huge garlands all around me. Somebody's asking how to run his business, somebody wants to know when his daughters will get married.
13 days. I thought, this is crazy. And I tried to open my legs, my knees were stuck. Then I knew time has passed. I didn't know, but my body is recording time. I just could open my knees, they had to bring hot water and massage me, and it took me almost an hour and a half to get my knees moving. Then I had to leave the place to avoid the attention, and by then, in about 6 weeks' time, my gait changed without any effort, the way I walk. My voice changed, the shape of my eyes changed. People around me could see something fundamental was changing within me. What happened within me I can never articulate. Simply lifetimes of memory descended on me with such a weight, kind of it left me, to come to terms with that. Suddenly everything around me and everybody that I knew for a lifetime looked like absolute strangers. And I cannot say it was difficult, definitely it was daunting. It was huge. So my skeptical mind kicked in and said, this can't be true, because if I accept this is true, I have been an utter idiot all my life. I don't like that. So I traveled. Next year and a half, I just traveled everything that came in my memory just to ascertain if it is true. Every one of those places that I saw were 100% the way I had seen in my mind. And this took me to various places. And since then, what's happened within me is more fairy tale-ish than a fairy tale. I don't expect anybody to believe such things, because I do not believe such things. It is impossible to even articulate, but I would say even what's happening around me is too fairy tale-ish. People around me see this on a daily basis. It's quite ridiculous if you look at it, if you analyze it logically, it's quite ridiculous. But if you elevate yourself and look down, it is such a fantastic design. It is, you know. I'm saying this not just by looking at the world around me. What we're just referring to as creation is such a fantastic, coordinated design. It's unbelievable. No human being can logically ever arrive at this and say, okay, I've gotten it. It's too much. At the same time, everything is so cohesive and so fantastic. When you see it, even for a moment if you see it, there is no way you can ever remain the same person. So since then my life has been just to make devices through which somehow you rub off this experience on people, even if it's for a moment. I can tell you millions of people today are in such a state, if they just as much as close their eyes, tears of ecstasy will dribble down. They do not know the ultimate, but they're near. Just the fragrance of the ultimate just breaks them up, dissolves them. This is something that must happen to every human being.
This is possible for every human being. It's my wish and my blessing. This must happen to you. Whether you climb Mount Everest or not, whether you become the richest man on this planet or not, your experience of life on this planet should be pleasant. You must live blissfully and glow. That must happen to every human being. Everybody deserves it and everybody is capable of it.